Welcome to New Zealand, a land where the landscapes appear as if the special forces of nature sculpted them. You'll see rolling green hills, towering mountains, and beaches where dolphins glide beside you in the clear, cool waters. And of course, there's sheep. Yes, there are more sheep than people here, but that's part of the charm this place brings. It would be fair to say that New Zealand has everything you could ask for. We're talking about a country where you can hike through dense green forests in the morning and unwind on pristine beaches by the sunset. And it's not just nature that's impressive. The culture, the food, and the people, they're some of the friendliest you'll ever meet. Today, we'll discuss the most awe-inspiring spots in New Zealand, the kind that stir something deep inside you and make you wonder if this could be home. First up, we have Waitomo, a small village in the North Island. When you hear Waitomo, there's one thing that instantly comes to mind: glowworms. The story of glowworms began long ago, deep beneath the earth, when water carved its path through limestone and created a world hidden from the sun. It wasn't until the late 19th century that two explorers, Maori chief Tainu Tongariro and an English surveyor, Fred Mace, ventured into the darkness. Armed with only a flax raft and courage, they drifted into the unknown and discovered nature's string lights, which turned pitch-black caves into something straight out of a fairy tale. Today, visitors float here on a boat in total silence, with the only sound of the soft water dripping from above, and then, gradually, the ceiling comes alive, lit by thousands of glowing dots. It's one of those moments that makes anyone stop and say, "How is this even real?" If you're here, make sure you visit the legendary Blackwater Rafting Company. Here, you can strap on a wetsuit, grab an inflatable, and plunge into an underground river for an up-close glowworm experience. It's part adventure, part light show, and 100% unforgettable. And if you're more into sightseeing at a slower pace, Waitomo's Ruakuri Cave is your spot. This is New Zealand's longest guided underground tour. Waterfalls, towering stalactites, and natural rock formations all await your visit underground. Spend an hour or two here, and you'll leave feeling like you've glimpsed the Earth's heart. Once the underground world lets you go, the vast timber trail awaits. It's a short drive from Waitomo, where every step feels like a journey back in time. This is where you can hike or bike through 87 kilometers of ancient forest. For outdoor enthusiasts looking to get lost in nature, it's a perfect place to lose yourself. And before you leave Waitomo behind, there's one final stop, the Otorohanga Kiwi House. This little wildlife sanctuary is dedicated to saving New Zealand's iconic kiwi bird. Step inside and you'll catch glimpses of other native species like tuatara. It's an ancient reptile that's been around since the time of dinosaurs. Overall, it's a great stop for families or anyone who wants to meet a real-life kiwi. After that, don't miss the chance to visit Tongariro National Park. It's New Zealand's first national park and a place so spectacular it feels like nature's own masterpiece gallery. The place has earned dual UNESCO World Heritage status, once for its jaw-dropping scenery and once for its cultural ties to the Maori people. This 80,000-hectare wonderland has some vibrant emerald lakes, ancient lava that stretches across the land, and steaming craters that remind you that beneath the surface, the earth is still alive and breathing. At the center of this natural wonder are three mighty volcanoes, Ruapehu, Ngauruhoe, and Tongariro. They sit on the southern edge of the Taupo volcanic zone. It's a hotspot of geothermal activity that's part of the Pacific's Ring of Fire. Ruapehu erupted last in 1996, and Ngauruhoe took its last bow in 1975. So, if you plan to hike here, make sure you check the volcanic activity first to keep yourself and your loved ones safe. For those with an adventurous heart, Tongariro has trails that'll leave you speechless, especially the famous Tongariro Alpine Crossing. It's a full-day 20-kilometer trek that takes you through landscapes that look like they belong in another world. With each step, you wander into a world that defies imagination and where craters gleam like molten silver. But if you're not ready to commit to an all-day hike, no problem. The Taranaki Falls track is a perfect pit stop. In just a couple of hours, you can enjoy a delightful 6-kilometer loop that leads you through lush forests and tranquil streams. And you'll end up at the stunning Taranaki Falls, where you can snap a selfie with the waterfall, because every adventure deserves a tale to tell. After all, if it's not shared, did it even happen? And here's a super cool fun fact. Mount Tongariro and Mount Ngoroho were one of the many filming locations for the Lord of the Rings film trilogy. Viewing tours for these spots are commonly arranged. And then we have Rotorua, a place where the earth bubbles, steams, and hisses like it's been simmering for centuries. Over a third of Rotorua's inhabitants proudly identify as Maori, a vibrant community steeped in tradition. The name Rotorua itself carries a story derived from the Maori language, meaning second lake. Although there's no shortage of adventures in Rotorua, it's mostly known for its champagne pools. This natural hot spring is filled with hues that'll leave you mesmerized. Make sure you check out the Lady Knox geyser while you're here. It erupts daily at 10:15 a.m. and shoots water 20 meters into the sky. It's like nature's own fireworks display, but without the noisy explosions. And once you start your geothermal adventure here, you'll wander past center terraces, steaming ground, and volcanic craters that beckon you to capture every moment. Besides, the natural bush setting gives it all a tranquil vibe, as if it's Mother Nature is whispering, "You deserve this." But like I mentioned earlier, there's more to Rotorua than its geothermal pools. If you're an adrenaline enthusiast, Velocity Valley is a must visit. Once you're here, you can ride a BMX bike into a massive airbag. Or if you're feeling extra brave, consider launching yourself 40 meters into the air on the swoop. It's like a bungee jump, but way more intense. And if you feel the need to cool down after all that excitement, consider heading over to Waimangu Volcanic Valley for a more chill but equally stunning adventure. Kayak through steaming cliffs, because even the cliffs in Rotorua like to make a statement. You can also take a leisurely boat cruise on Lake Rotomahana. This is the home of the legendary Pink and White Terraces, a natural wonder that was once considered the 8th wonder of the world. And to wrap it all up with a cultural twist, visit Tipuya in the Wakarawarawa Geothermal Valley. Here, you can witness the mighty Pohutu geyser erupting like it's got something to prove, and watch students at the Maori Arts and Crafts Institute design masterpieces out of wood. Then, top it all off with a traditional hangi feast, because nothing beats the charm of eating a meal that's been slow cooked by the earth itself. Then comes Wellington, New Zealand's capital city. It's nestled between rolling hills and a stunning harbor, and has a bit of everything: culture, coffee, creativity, and enough wind to make you think twice about your choice of hat. Once you're here, consider visiting Te Papa Tongarewa, a name that translates to container of treasures, and live up to it. This museum is an epic 6th-floor, 36,000 square meter space of culture, history, art, and scientific specimens. You could lose yourself in here for hours and still want more. From ancient Maori artifacts to mind-bending science exhibits, it gives a lot of reasons to stay. Next up, we have Wellington's iconic red cable car, which has been ferrying people between the city and Kelburn Village for over 120 years. They say no visit to Wellington is complete without hopping on this little gem and cruising up to those panoramic views. The ride delivers charm, history, and Instagram-worthy moments all in one go. And if you're yearning for nature, head to Zealandia. It's a world-first urban sanctuary and just a quick 10-minute drive from the city center. This is where native bird life flourishes, and you can experience nature doing its thing, free from predators. Make sure you bring your binoculars to experience wildlife at its best. Also, not to mention that Wellington takes its brews very seriously. Around every corner, You'll find local roasteries serving up rich brews that'll make you want to praise your barista in public. The demand for top-tier coffee here has created a cafe culture like no other. So, if you're a coffee lover, brace yourself. Wellington will caffeinate your soul with some of the best beans in the business. Lastly, we're going to talk about Auckland, New Zealand's largest city and once the capital of New Zealand. It boasts a climate that's as mild as it gets. Can you believe the highest temperature ever recorded here was a cozy 32 degrees Celsius back in 1985? What's more interesting about this place is that it sits atop a volcanic field, home to more than 50 dormant volcanoes. First up, we have Auckland's most iconic dormant volcano, Rangitoto Island. It's a short ferry ride from downtown. If you're feeling bold, you can paddle your way across the harbor, watch the sky light up in oranges and pinks, and then enjoy a barbecue on the island. And don't forget to hike up to the summit for views that will blow your mind. For those into history and tradition, you can get lost in the stunning exhibits at the Auckland Art Gallery Toi o Tamaki. Whether it's ancient history or modern masterpieces, the city's got a cultural experience that'll satisfy even the most curious souls. And if you're looking for some thrills, how about a weekend activity that gets your heart racing? Skydive Auckland will have you free-falling from the clouds. And if jumping out of a plane isn't your style, you can leap from the sky tower on a sky jump. It's 192 meters above ground. Once you've had your fill of free-falling, you can switch gears and hop aboard a whale and dolphin cruise in the Hauraki Gulf. Here, you'll have dolphins splashing beside your boat, whales making surprise appearances, and you living your best life on the high seas. And if you're not into whales, you can race an America's Cup yacht or chill on a luxury dinner cruise. There's a reason they call it the City of Sails. That's it for today. But can one ever really be done with New Zealand? It's a place that stays with you long after your plane has left the runway. From the pulse of its cities to the stillness of its wilderness, from that first step on volcanic soil to your last cup of world-class coffee, this land hooks you. It gets under your skin in the best way possible.